Hare Krishna. Welcome to the discussion on Bhagavad Gita series. Today we shall be discussing text 28 from the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So text 28 is Arjuna uvāca dṛṣṭvemaṁ sva-janam Kṛṣṇa yuyutsuṁ samupasthitam sīdanti mama gātrāṇi mukham pariśuṣyati. Translation. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up." So, after seeing all the different relatives on the battlefield, especially on this enemy's camp as well, Arjuna is now speaking these words. He's expressing his astonishment, seeing the fighting spirit of all the blood relatives. As we discussed in the previous words, almost all the chief kings in the other army, in the enemy's army, were all friends and relatives of Arjuna. And in spite of them being related to Arjuna and the Pandavas, they were in such a fighting spirit. So that really astonished Arjuna. So he's mentioning here that sīdanti mama gātrāṇi, mukhaṁ pariśuṣyati. The limbs of his bodies were quivering. His mouth was drying up. When especially people feel tremendous amount of stress, these are the symptoms of the stress. Arjuna, seeing the different relatives on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, was immediately stressed out. His bodily limbs start quivering and his mouth was drying up. Not only that, something that is not mentioned here, but Prabhupada says he was even crying on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. For a Kshatriya, especially of Arjuna's caliber, to cry, and that too on the battlefield. And these symptoms were not because Arjuna was weak. He was afraid to be on the battlefield. No. He's a great hero, he's a great warrior. But these symptoms were due to his soft-heartedness. Arjuna, being a Vaishnava, naturally is a soft-hearted person. So, the soft-heartedness is the characteristics of a pure devotee of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada mentions the words from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati akanchana sarvair gunair tatra samasita sura hara bhaktasya kuto mahatguna manorathena sati dhavato bahi. So, yasyasti bhakti bhagavati akinchana. Anyone who has bhakti towards Bhagavan, yasyasti bhakti bhagavata akinchana, sarvair gunair tatra samasutaya sura. That person has sarvair gunair. All the good qualities of the demigods or the devas are there in that person. On the other hand, hara abhaktasya kuto mahaguna. Abhakta, who is not worshipping Lord Hari or Krishna, bhaktasya kuto mahadguna. How can he have any good qualities? That means that person cannot have any good qualities. Why he cannot have any good qualities? Manorathena satidhabto bahi. Because that person is seated on the chariot of his mind. What does that really mean? That means a person is very whimsical. He is simply obedient to his mind. He is not in the control of his mind, but he's subservient to his mind. So mind says, today you be good. So the person is being good. Tomorrow the mind says you become bad. He is willing to become bad because he is whimsical. He is simply following the dictation of one's mind. To just give an example, how a non-devotee cannot have any good qualities. Even the so-called apparent good qualities are nothing but the result of their whimsical behavior. This graphically we can see from the character of Kamsa. Kamsa was exhibiting so much affection and love for his sister Devaki. He was driving the chariot for Devaki at the time of her marriage. The moment he heard, Kamsa, you are a fool. The eighth child of this sister is going to kill you. Finish. Immediately, he grabbed Devaki by hair, took out his sword and ready to chop off her head. In public. It's not that in some secret place he's trying to do it. In public, he was exhibiting affection for Devaki. In public, he's willing to kill Devaki within a moment's notice. This is a typical example of manorathena sati dhavato. A person seated on the chariot of his mind. So, therefore, Arjuna, being a soft-hearted Vaishnava, has naturally all the good qualities. And therefore, he's feeling compassionate for not only his own army people, the soldiers in his own army, but he's also feeling compassionate for others' army. The people in the enemy's camp, he's feeling compassionate for them as well. So this is the sum and substance of this verse. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.